It's another like outer space. Like The Expanse is about
I think I started
Earthlings
watching that,
moving to Mars, like moving out to Mars,
and there
and
was like a rebellion of some sort, right? I'm sorry.
yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot.
Okay, I will put it on the list. Um,
Um, but I
Interesting.
hate to tell you, like actors from, if you're saying actors from the region, are you talking about brown actors or
Yeah, I'm talking
because
about like indigenous
Russell Crowe
people
is from,
or
so Cliff
like
Curtis,
Russell Crowe's British.
Rena
No, I'm just
Owen,
kidding.
what? What?
Every bad guy who's got an accent is British. I'm sorry. Like I'm
Cliff
American.
Curtis,
Anyway,
um, Rachel House, who was in the Thor movie or the
the
Thor
Thor
movie
movie.
with Jeff Goldblum. Um, anyway, there
Okay,
are some people, but
right. What I'm saying is easily recognizable, like pop culture icon sort of people. Does that make
yeah.
sense?
So I would say Cliff Curtis. Well, Temuera is up there because he's working now a
No,
lot
aside from that,
in the U.S.
Tim Muerta is the guy we're talking about, right? Who
Temuera, who
played
played
Boba Fett?
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for instance, when I look at him, his
Yeah.
headshot, I
Yeah.
think of a New Zealander. Does
Okay.
that make sense? Like I don't do that when I look at Sam
Okay.
Neill. I think
Right.
like
Of course.
I think he's British or he's England or
Right. 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 Right.
Australian or whatever. You know, like
Yes.
I'm not
Sure.
thinking like he's New Zealander. When I look at Temuera, I'm like that
You're
guy's
like, this is a Maori guy from
yeah, it's a Maori
Aotearoa.
guy. Exactly. That's exactly right. And actually, like the first thing that I think of is that Psycho Maori movie that that we watched a long time ago about the guy who was like a prison ex prison guy who shot people and like with shotguns. Do you remember that? I think
Who
Tim Weddle was
shot
in
people
that.
with shotguns?
Yeah, it was this
Um.
crazy movie, uh, and it was like an independent film from New Zealand, and it was about like a prisoner who had written a book, and it was about his life, and he was like a super violent, like Maori guy, who was just a criminal, and he just had a really strange life, and like it
I
went
don't
through
know
like the
about that.
domestic issues that his family had, and like all
Oh.
this
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Once we're warriors.
once Were Warriors. That's it. Yeah. And it was like that was like one of the best movies I had seen in a
Right.
long time, just cinematically, but also like in terms
Sorry,
of
my dad is
acting,
calling
things like
me.
that. Yeah, no problem, no problem. So
That. How old are
I
you?
forgot to tell him about this.
I am 46. Wait,
Okay, so that film came out in
46.
'94.
Right.
Once we're warriors.
And
Where's
we
my
But,
water?
watched it pretty close to that. I
yeah.
want to
Yeah.
say, like,
Mm-hmm.
I think I watched that as a
Where's
senior.
my water?
Maybe in like '97 or something.
Yeah, exactly, like 97. I think you had it
3 years later, when it was available
on
on
I
VHS.
can't find
yeah,
my water.
exactly.
Yeah. But
Crazy.
so
Okay, so
yeah, he
let's get back
first
to
showed
it.
up
Okay.
as Jango Fett in Attack of the Clones in 2002.
I forgot. I can't find my water bottle.
Okay, let's go back to it, okay? So let's
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
back to Rogue One. Why do you think Rogue One worked?
I've been-aids.
It was very human. It was a very human story. I think there were a lot of. I mean, the practicals help it. I think when they start trying to do too many effects,
I
like
agree with that.
it's not a lived story.
No,
Right.
it's a cartoon.
Right. I mean,
Once
there's
you
that
get CGI
incredible.
over like 20%, it's a cartoon. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Right.
super fake.
But like there's that that idea. Let me think. I mean, there were just some
Okay.
really good ideas in it, like the Star Destroyer. Okay, so talking about practicals and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like the Star Destroyer being pushed into the disabled Star Destroyer being
Yes.
pushed into the other Star Destroyer and like being
Brilliant.
pushed into the
Yeah.
shield. Yeah, that was an incredible idea.
It was awesome. I think that was an awesome idea, and the fact that they're like, just hit the warp drive while we're doing this, like oh,
Right.
wait a second, can you do that? You know, that was one of those things that was so unique, and it was like, can you actually do that in that universe? You know what I mean? Like, can you do that in that galaxy? And I think one of the things that okay, so that's one thing. I think it was introducing new uses of the same thing. Go ahead, Sempi. What else? Why else?
I have a question about the difference in the Star Destroyer and the Death Star. Why is there a Star Destroyer that can destroy stars, but they don't have something that can destroy planets yet?
Star
That's a good
destroyers
question.
don't really destroy
Then
stars.
why are they called that?
Star destroyers don't destroy stars.
Then why are they called that?
Like, well, and so let's talk about that. It's because when men build boats, they name them stupid things. Okay,